Alright, so one last video. We thought it would be helpful if we did a video just about creating a step-down note. So currently when you're on ICU and a patient gets discharged, after they're discharged, you have to write a discharge summary, which is a bit of a faff and duplicates a lot of work, but hopefully now with the intensivist M page we should be able to save having to make that effort. So we've got the ICU admission M page, we've got the ICU ward round M page, which is currently known as manage, but that will change. ICU handover is for the nursing staff to hand over each morning and evening. And then when it comes to discharging a patient, we've got the ICU step-down transfer note. So this can be pre-populated and you can fill in all the details beforehand. We ask that you don't actually create this note until the patient is about to leave or has left. But this will pull through all the information that has been added to the M pages previously. So all the patient information, there's outbound planning in case you're having to transfer the patient out of hospital, and there's all the usual information that we have, sort of presenting complaints and history of presenting a complaint, and you can tidy this up however you like and remove any components that you aren't particularly interested in. Make sure the problems and diagnoses are up to date, so if there's an acute admission or an acute problem, so for example, let's say that this patient came in with a pneumonia, we can add that, and that's this visit. All the documentation appears here, all your previous histories, the lab tests would appear here, as would the fluid balance. Lines, drains and tubes, so this can act as a bit of a reminder to remove any lines that aren't appropriate for intensive care, and with medications as well, so please do stop all the continuous infusions when you're transferring the patient out, when your patient's ready for discharge. The vital signs, etc. And then there's a bit of a step-down transfer checklist which the nurse will complete. I'll just show you what that looks like. And it's important that this is completed by the nurse before the patient is discharged, but this is really the last thing that gets done before the patient's stepped down. And this is just for the nurse to complete and make sure that all the paperwork has been done and all the equipment is in place, etc. So I'm just going to cancel that. And once that is complete and the allied health professionals have put in any information for handover, you can then create the critical care step-down note, and that will produce a document which will count as the ICU discharge summary. It's also important to note that once we have gone to go live, there will be one final component added to this, which will be the ICNARC code, and that is an essential component. It's really important that that code is applied so that, or put into this discharge note so that we can code for and send the information to the ICNARC database. There will be a link to the ICNARC website on your toolbar so that you can go to the ICNARC website and look up the diagnosis, and it'll produce a code which you can then input on the step-down note. And that's it really. Similar to all the other M pages, this will replace you having to complete a discharge summary. Thanks very much.